Hello everyone, it's just me, Colleen Tepper. I'm sorry I was recording my live for today and something happened where I quit recording and I'm going to start over. Um, Welcome to my demo, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I have here today. So I'm going to put you down and I'm going to switch you around. And I just want to make sure I'm in camera. I am. Okay. I have a board here that's 12 by 6 and it comes with a base that the base can go on like that. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I use a stencil as a pattern. I have a stencil here that's a penguin family. It has 7 different penguins on it. And I'm going to tape that down. And excuse the paint on there because I had paint on there already because I was doing the demo and my camera froze. I'm unable to come to my demo tomorrow. We have a family reunion, so it's something that I did not know about. Well, I knew about it, but I did not put it on my calendar, and I signed up for a demo and a sale tomorrow. I should be back in time to do my sale, but not my demo. So I appreciate Lori for doing this. We're just going to do one, okay? I did the other side. I can show you what that looks like. I can show you what that looks like after I do this, but I'm going to cover up this star so that doesn't, and I covered up the beaks, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a stencil brush and black paint. I'm going to dim my light a little bit here. Because then the shadow don't come up so much. Okay. So what I did is I did do all 3 penguins on the other side. And I'll show you the other side after I'm done. I'm just going to do the one now. We have a graduation party to leave for in an hour. And I need to take a shower before we go and get ready to go here. So, okay. So that's that there. And I'm just going to set that there. I have all my stencil brushes dirty right now. And then I put out some Sunset Gold. This background is painted in, let's see what that is. Peacock Teal from Deco Art Americana. And I actually got this on sale at Hobby Lobby for $1.82 when they were clearancing out their paint. So I thought that's a good color to paint the background of the penguins. And on this one, I'm going to just do the stencil as it is. But just think, you could put the icebergs here. You could come around and put the iceberg on first. And if you bought my penguin pattern, you'll know how to do that. And I'll go on live with this afterwards, and we will do some other things on it. You know what? I'm going to come in with the gray first, because the gray will block out that color. Then I'll come in with the gold, but I'm going to use the gray sky again for the water line there that he's sitting in. It's a, you know, it's the wave. I'm sorry, I'm a little panicked. I'm trying to get this recorded, and I did a bunch of stuff and my camera quit recording. I don't know how that happened, but and I'm just coming in with gray here. Just a little bit, just so I have the line work of the pattern, okay? So let's see what that looks like. I have to do a little bit more here to cover. I got black down there to cover the black. And I will go over this with white also. But this is just to block in the pattern. I need to slow down. I was going way too fast, and I kind of messed up the line work. Okay, we can go with that. So we just have the one here, okay? Here's the other one with the 3 on there. But let's get those in the water. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the black, and I'm going to connect the bridges and stuff so that we have those all put in. And I'll come along afterwards also. Dimming the light might have made it so the shadow's not as good, but the eyesight, it's not as good on the eyesight, huh? I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna fill that in. Okay. And that went like that, okay? So that's that. And now I'm going to do gray sky, and I'm going to paint the inside of him with gray sky. And if you have bought my penguin pattern that I had last time, you'll know that I did not use white on my penguin bellies. I use gray sky. And it gives them a little bit different of a look here. Honestly, this goes faster than what I'm painting, but I'm painting slow right now. I gotta use a different brush because I can't get in there real well. I'll come back to that one. I personally love using these stroke brushes from King Art. They have a flat end and they hold quite a bit of paint, so I can get quite a bit of stuff done. And I used to use the the Lowell Cornell, and they're exactly the same brush. The quality is the same. They're made the same. And I do like those a lot. Okay, so we're just going to come over and do that like that. And I'm going to have to move this around because of the way. And, you know, I hope my camera's set up nicely and stuff because I can't see myself what's recording. It's not connected to a computer, so I cannot see that. My computer is out in my other room, and I'm not bringing it in here because it's a desktop. I got a desktop computer, and it is not a laptop. And believe me, I have no room in here. I'm lucky I fit in here right now. I have so much going on with what I'm doing. And with, you know, housework and family obligations. We have a lot of family stuff going on right now with graduations and just summer stuff. And okay. So once again, this is Gray Sky. That I've put in here. You can use a smaller brush to get up alongside stuff if you feel comfortable with a flat. Use a flat, use whatever brush you feel comfortable with. Okay, then I'll come in with the flat and just put a coat on there to knock stuff down and fill in. And this is the way I paint things. You know, we all do things differently. This is how I have the most control over what I'm doing, is that way. I love using those stroke brushes, and they are not just for stroking. But a flat brush has its purpose too. And what I did is I put a coat on of peacock teal. I sanded it. I sanded the board a little bit before I base coated it too. I just went over it once with my sanding block. And I use these. They're from the Dollar Tree. And on Amazon, they had replacement blocks that fit in here perfectly. So then I have a handle too. You don't have to use a handle. I have several different sanding blocks that I use, but the box of the sanding blocks from Amazon, it has all different types of the birds are really chirping out there, has all different types of grit. So from, you know, real fine grit to heavy grit, and it works nice out. Boy, those birds, my windows are closed. I can hear the birds through the window chirping. I have a tree right outside there, so they must really be talking this morning. Or they might be crows. They're kind of loud. We have a lot of ravens, a lot of blackbirds. Okay, so this is Sunset Gold. A lot of times I use Spice Pumpkin on my feet and beaks. But I thought I'd try the Sunset Gold. I had it out. It was on my desk, and it is a good color to use also. Okay, we'll let those dry. We'll let that dry up there. And this still has to dry some too. But I can come in with my white paint right now and do the water, okay? So that goes around here and goes here. So you're kind of doing some stroke work here too. Okay. It's a little globby. This comes out here. This comes out here. I have a few little black specks on there. And the little droplets there. We'll put those on. Okay. So he's looking pretty good so far. I do not like how this looks here. So I'm just going to cover that up a little bit with some of the background color. And I'll let that dry and I'll fix it up some more. And you can fix up a lot of stuff and everything with the background color. This here is from when I put it in the thing, it was into the stand, it was still wet. So we're going to cover that up right now too. And I'll fill that in and then I'm going to sand over it a little bit afterwards. But I really took a chunk out when it's stuck in there. I shouldn't have never put it together. Word of caution, do not put this in the stand when it's wet. You'll catch the wood in there, and just cleaning up a little bit the rough edges. And I'm going to just connect those two here. You know, you're your own boss with this. And everybody likes being their own boss. Okay. Now I see a few pieces where the turquoise is showing through, the peacock teal is showing through. So I'm just coming in and rubbing some more color on there. And we'll come through and do the gold, the sunset gold again, like this. Okay. Okay, so on here, I have one that I painted already. So on here, I'm just going to draw the beak in. I'm going to set that over here for now. I'm going to draw the beak in, and they have these at Walmart. They're a pen that you can, pencil you can use that's graphite, and it erases real well and everything, and it doesn't leave, like I have other pens that I use, and the lead will sometimes smear. This does not leave this. You could even use a white chalk pencil if you want. Let's try the white one. That one, we'll see how you can see it. So the beak on this thing is like this, and then like that, and then like that. Okay, so we'll fill that in, and we'll stick with the sunset gold because we used that before. So we fill in the bridge like that. I can't really see the line work, but it's a pretty easy design. Then this is the bottom, okay. Very easy. So you could put it on just like a triangle with a curved top, okay? Just like a triangle with a curved top. And we're going to let that dry a little bit. And then we're going to come in with wild berry. And I'm going to just put a little tiny bit of that. And I'm going to get a dry brush. I love that dry brush, but I think it's too big, but we'll try it anyways. So I'm going to load up the dry brush and then take the paint off. You know how to do that. All you ladies are good painters. Most of you are better painters than me even. And okay, there's a cheek. If you want, you can put a little bit of, he's got a little bit of sun on his tummy. You could do that if you wanted. Okay, I'm going to just leave this loaded up just in case. I want to dry this so I can shade and put his eyes in. So you can bring the stencil back on here if you'd like and line it up and do his eyes if you want, because the eyes are cut out there. So let's see how that one's wet. Okay, I'll get another one out. And I'm going to do his eyes in black. So I'm going to come in there and offload it, load it and offload it, and just do his eyes. And you can hand paint them in if you want. On the original I hand painted the eyes in, but this way, they're right where you want them. Okay. And you could even put the eyes in after you put the cheeks on, because see, my cheeks are up there, but that's okay too. I don't mind the cheeks being there. I can bring that cheek down a little bit here. I can fix that. We'll just leave it go now. Okay, there we go. And if you want the eyes up further, like in mine, that the original I did, I put the eyes way up here. That's where they are on the stencil. So we're doing it how the stencil is shaped so that we can see what the stencil will do for you. All right, I think I'm good with all these colors here. I want to come through one more time and just touch up this lightly. And make that look more like a ring. And I'll come through with the white again on there, because we might just want to keep working on it and getting it perfect afterwards. But for the demo purposes, I'm just going to go as quickly as I can here. I'll have to bring all these down and wash them in my sink. Okay. So what I do is I am going to shade the feet, and you can use your favorite color with that. But I'm going to do burnt sienna. And I bought a smaller angle brush, and I'm not finding it. I tried using a smaller one than I had been using for little tiny places. It's not working out real great for me. It doesn't work real well for me. Of course, my brush is way bigger than it should be. Okay, so I'm going to separate the top of the beak from the bottom. Okay. And then I'm also going to come along down here and do it too, because, okay, like that. And I'm going to come along the top. And this is just a little bit. Okay. And then on here, I'm just going to shade totally around these. I shade around my whole subject, usually shade around it. and then I dry brush in the highlights. I do use the floating sometimes, but I mostly dry brush highlights, and I float shading. So I'll do this and this. Go here. And along here, okay. And you can come back in and shade it as many times as you want. Or as little as you want. Whatever you like. Okay? So there's that there. And then I'm going to take another little bit of white. I saved my other palette over here. And I'm going to work that in really well. And come along the eye. And I just float it in. Float the color in. Okay. And then I use zinc to shade on the white part here, or the gray part. So I'm going to find my zinc. And there it is. And I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette. And I'm going to come along and shade. And I'm shading around the whole. Shading around the whole penguin. My water is pretty dirty. I didn't change it this morning. Or this afternoon. It's this afternoon. You know what we've been doing, and we've got to get out of the habit of this. We've been watching TV series. So we have this program on our TV where you can go in and, choose it. And some of them have 20 seasons. And we've been getting into those where we're watching a series. And what happens with us is we start watching it, and we just want to keep watching it and watching it and watching it. And we've done a few of those. The last one we did was, I don't know if you've ever heard of Heartland, but it's about a ranch family up in Canada. And I don't think it's a Hallmark, but it's not as cheesy as the Hallmarks. So but it's on that order. It's a good family. It's a good wholesome movie. And that had 20 seasons, or 20 some, 19 seasons it had, 19 seasons. And 19 seasons, and and it had now I'm just going to highlight with white. It had 19 seasons, and some of the first seasons had 18 episodes. I mean, it took us a couple weeks to watch it, but it seemed like that was the only thing we were doing, was watching that series, and it was something. Oops, I got some water on there. So I just come around with white on a dry brush, and you can, for the beak, you can come in with like that cadmium yellow hue, but I was kind of happy when that season got over with. We were obsessed. We weren't getting anything done around here, and it was. Now my husband liked it so much, he's rewatched episodes that he liked. So, and this will spark it up a little bit too. But that is my demo on the penguin. And this stencil I have has 7 different penguins. I haven't done the smaller ones yet, but I'm going to try those. And I taped the beaks off because the beaks were kind of funny shaped. I didn't like the beaks, but it hardly took me any time to do this. And it's cute. You can put eyelashes on them if you want. We'll do some eyebrows on them. And I'll bring the light up so you can see better what he looks like in the light. But that's it. He's done. And wouldn't it look cute with that iceberg under here and stuff? Here's the 3. I started doing the 3 and then it wasn't recording. So I will finish this, and then it'll have this one on the back too. And then this goes in here like that, and it stands up. You can glue them in there. I got something on there. You can glue it in there, or you can do anything you want with that. But let me bring my light back up. Okay. And let me put this up. I'm going to turn off my overhead light. Let me put this up here and come around. And once again, I cannot see what I'm recording. So, but this is it here. And that's my demo to show you what you can do with a stencil. And you have yourself a little pattern. And this is what they started out like. So I will put the other 2, maybe I'll do a baby one on here and another big one or something. And that's what you have. But thank you for joining. And I hope to see you at my sale, which is Sunday night at 7:15. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.